Welcome to the HR Tech Nexus Podcast, the go-to resource for small and mid-sized businesses ready to revolutionize recruiting and onboarding. Twice a week, we deliver actionable, budget-friendly tech strategies to help you compete for top talent globally without enterprise-level costs. If you're drowning in manual hiring tasks, battling compliance headaches, or stuck with clunky HR systems, you're in the right place. We break down tools like AI-driven applicant trackers, seamless onboarding platforms, and compliance automation, all scaled for SMEs. Join me as we unpack real-world strategies from HR leaders who've slashed time to hire, boosted retention, and built future-ready teams.
All right, everyone, welcome back for another deep dive with HR Tech Nexus. This is actually our 11th deep dive, and today we're going to kind of focus in on a really specific area of HR tech that we know a lot of you are interested in, and that is cloud-based HR technology specifically for small and medium-sized enterprises. So those are SMEs for those of you in the know.
Right, yeah.
And how those technologies can really make a difference when it comes to recruiting and onboarding new employees.
That's a big one.
It is a big one. And it's one of those things where we've seen a lot of questions from you guys, a lot of our audience about, we're trying to find the best people. We're trying to make this process as smooth as possible, but we don't want to get bogged down with tons of paperwork. We don't want to spend a fortune on these complicated systems.
Right.
So what we want to do today is really pull out some of the practical and immediately useful insights from all the stuff we've been looking at hrtechnexus.com and really give you guys something that you can take away and actually use.
I think that's key, right?
Yeah.
Like there's so much information out there.
It is overwhelming.
And it can be super overwhelmed.
Totally.
So yeah, let's try to make it real.
Let's try to make it real.
For folks.
Let's do it.
All right. So one of the things that really jumped out at me when I was looking at the research on this was just this idea that cloud-based tools aren't just sort of like a slight improvement. You know? They're not just like, oh, this is a little bit better than what we were doing before.
Yeah.
It's being described as revolutionizing hiring processes.
Revolutionizing. That's a big word.
It's a big word. And the source material really emphasizes this unparalleled flexibility, efficiency, and enhanced collaboration that you get with these cloud-based tools compared to traditional methods.
So, revolutionizing is a big word. What does that actually mean, like on the ground for an SME that's trying to, fill a role? Yeah,
I think if we kind of zoom out for a second to just think about the bigger picture, the rise of remote work and just this huge shift towards digital transformation in every industry.
Right.
Those aren't just trends anymore.
Yeah.
Those are kind of how we do business now.
Yeah, it's the new normal.
It's the new normal. And for SMEs, particularly, having streamlined operations, particularly when it comes to something as essential as hiring, it's not just a nice to have anymore.
Right.
It's really essential for staying competitive.
Totally.
And these cloud-based tools, they really give SMEs that centralized online space to manage literally every aspect of recruitment.
Okay.
From creating the job description, posting it out there, managing applications, communicating with candidates, all without needing like a massive in-house IT department.
Right.
To set up all this complicated infrastructure.
Right. So you're not sifting through stacks of resumes anymore.
Yeah. No more paper cuts.
Okay, good.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a thing of the past.
So one of the things that really kind of stuck out from the HR Tech Nexus material was this idea of efficiency through automation.
Yes.
And the sources really point out that these tools can help automate so many of those really time-consuming tasks that HR departments just get bogged down with, and especially in smaller companies where people are wearing multiple hats.
Right. Everyone's doing everything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So things like screening resumes or scheduling interviews can now be done automatically, which frees up HR to actually focus on strategy and people and those things.
Exactly. And I think that's a big shift, right? Because HR professionals, they want to be focusing on, the strategic side of things.
Right.
But they're often stuck doing all this admin work.
It's tough.
And this really helps free them up.
Yeah. So paint me a picture, like in a real world scenario for an SME.
Okay, sure.
How does this automation actually work?
So let's say you're a small business. You post a job opening.
Okay.
And suddenly you're inundated with applications.
Okay.
Instead of having to manually go through each resume and read through everything, the system can actually be set up to automatically scan those resumes for keywords, specific skills, experience levels that you've defined as essential for that role.
Got it.
So it helps you quickly identify those most promising candidates and then focus your energy there.
Gotcha.
Same thing with interview scheduling, right?
Okay.
These tools can integrate with everyone's calendars.
Right.
So your hiring team, the candidates, and people can just pick times that work for them.
Right.
No more back and forth emails trying to find a slot that works for everybody.
It's huge.
It saves so much time and so much hassle.
Absolutely. I mean, that time saving is got to be a game changer, especially for those smaller teams.
Oh, absolutely.
But, attracting top talent isn't just about efficiency, right?
Right.
It's also about the experience.
Yes. The candidate experience is so important.
So how do these cloud-based tools kind of affect that candidate experience?
Well, the sources from HR Tech Nexus really emphasize the importance of having user-friendly interfaces.
Right.
If your application process is clunky or difficult to navigate, you're going to lose good candidates.
Right. They're going to go somewhere else.
Exactly. They're going to say, forget this.
Yeah.
I'm not dealing with this.
Totally.
So cloud-based tools are designed with that ease of use in mind.
Right.
They make it simple for people to apply.
Okay.
And they keep candidates informed throughout the process.
Okay.
Automated communication is really important here.
Right.
Because it can send those timely updates.
Okay.
Reduce uncertainty for the candidate and show them that you value their time, even if they're not ultimately selected for the role.
Right. You're making them feel like a human instead of just like a number in a system.
Exactly. And that seamless journey from application to onboarding.
Right.
I mean, that really makes a difference.
It makes a huge difference.
In terms of the candidate's impression of your company.
And now a lot of SMEs, these days are working remotely or they have hybrid teams.
Right.
So how do these tools support collaboration, in those kind of environments?
Yeah, that's a really good question. And this is where that enhanced collaboration that we talked about earlier really comes into play.
Okay.
Because cloud-based solutions provide this central platform where everybody on the hiring team can access the same information.
Right.
No matter where they're located.
Yeah.
Right? So they can review applications, share feedback.
Okay.
And it really streamlines the decision-making process.
Gotcha.
So imagine, you've got a hiring manager in one city.
Yeah.
And they can easily share their interview notes with a colleague in another city. And it just makes for much more informed and collaborative hiring decisions.
That makes a lot of sense, keeping everybody kind of on the same page, even if they're not in the same room.
Exactly.
So the HR Tech Nexus material also mentions applicant tracking systems, or ATS, a lot.
Yeah, those are a big deal.
For anyone who's not familiar, what is an ATS and why is that such an important part of these cloud-based solutions?
So think of an ATS as like the central nervous system of your entire recruiting process.
Got it.
It's a systematic way to manage all your candidate data, all your communications, from the moment somebody applies all the way through to the end, whether they're hired or not.
Okay.
It essentially tracks every stage of the candidate journey.
Right.
And it uses automation to keep everything organized and accessible.
Okay.
And compliant with all the regulations.
So it's more than just like a resume database?
Yeah, it's much more than that.
Okay.
It's really a comprehensive system for managing that whole workflow.
So once you have all that data, centralized in an ATS, what kind of practical benefits does that actually give an SME?
Well, this is where things get really interesting because a lot of these cloud-based tools, they come with built-in real-time data analytics, which means you can actually start making data-driven decisions about your hiring strategies.
Right. So no more gut feeling.
Yeah, exactly. You can actually see what's working, what's not working.
Okay.
You can get insights into things like, where your best candidates coming from.
Okay.
How long is your hiring process taking?
Yeah.
Are there any bottlenecks in the workflow?
Gotcha.
And then you can use that information to refine your recruitment campaigns.
Right.
And just continuously improve your results.
Okay.
For an SME, that's huge because they often have limited resources.
Right.
So knowing where to focus their efforts is super important.
Absolutely. And speaking of resources, the HR Tech Nexus stuff also talked about scalability and cost effectiveness of these cloud-based solutions for SMEs. So how does that work?
So one of the big advantages for SMEs is that most of these cloud-based recruitment software, they work on a subscription model.
Okay.
So you're not paying a huge upfront cost for hardware and software licenses.
Okay.
And they're also designed to be scalable.
Yeah.
So as your business grows, the system can grow with you.
Okay.
Whether you're hiring 1 person or 10 people, you don't need to completely overhaul your system.
Gotcha.
And another really important point is that a lot of these platforms are designed to integrate with other HR systems that you might already be using.
Right.
So you're not dealing with all these disparate tools.
Okay, that's huge.
It's much more efficient.
That flexibility has got to be really good for those growing businesses.
Oh, absolutely.
So it's not just about, making the process more efficient or cost effective, but how do these tools actually help SMEs find a wider pool of talent?
Yeah, that's a really important point because with cloud-based tools, SMEs can really expand their search beyond their local area.
Oh, okay.
They're not limited to candidates who live within a certain radius.
Oh, sure.
They can use online job boards that are integrated with these platforms.
Right.
They can manage remote applications seamlessly.
Right.
So it opens up access to a much more diverse global pool of talent.
Okay.
And that access to different skills and perspectives can be a huge advantage for SMEs.
Especially those looking to grow and, innovate and those kinds of things.
Exactly.
Now everyone's talking about AI these days.
Oh, yeah.
So how is artificial intelligence actually being integrated into these tools based on the sources?
So the sources from HR Tech Nexus, they highlight that AI is playing a bigger and bigger role in these tools.
Yeah.
And it can help with things like analyzing job descriptions to make sure they're attracting the right candidates, screening applications to identify the top contenders, and even improving that candidate matching process by identifying skills and experience that align with the open roles. So it's really about making the hiring process smarter and more efficient, and ultimately leading to better quality hires.
So it's not just about automating tasks, it's about making smarter decisions.
Exactly.
So for an SME owner or an HR manager out there who's thinking, okay, maybe I need to look into one of these tools.
Yeah.
What are some of the key things they should consider when they're actually making a decision?
So the sources give some really good practical advice.
Okay.
First of all, think about integration.
Okay.
How well does this tool integrate with the other systems you're already using?
Right.
Your existing HR software, your workflows.
Okay.
A seamless integration is going to save you so much time and hassle down the line.
Right.
Second, scalability.
Okay.
Can this tool grow with your business
as
your hiring needs change?
Okay.
Third, user interface.
Okay.
Is it intuitive?
Yeah.
Is it easy for your team to use?
Right.
Is it easy for candidates to use?
Yeah, because if it's not, no one's going to want to use it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then finally, data security. Make sure the platform has robust data security measures in place to protect all that sensitive candidate information.
That's huge, especially these days.
Oh, absolutely.
So as we're wrapping up this deep dive, it's really clear that these cloud-based recruiting tools offer some really amazing advantages for SMEs.
Yeah.
Whether it's boosting efficiency through automation, enhancing that candidate experience, facilitating collaboration, or just giving you access to a wider pool of talent.
It's a game changer.
It really is. It seems like these technologies are becoming essential for any modern HR strategy.
I agree.
And we've seen how things like the ATS, real-time analytics, even AI, can provide some really tangible benefits.
Real benefits.
And give SMEs a competitive edge when it comes to attracting and retaining top talent.
It's all about finding the right people.
Absolutely, and making that process as smooth as possible.
Exactly.
So for anyone listening who wants to dive even deeper into this, or learn more about how to use HR tech in their SME, I really encourage you to head over to hrtechnexus.com.
Yeah, we've got tons of resources there.
Tons of resources, articles, case studies, all kinds of stuff to really help you navigate this world.
That's right.
So as you go forward, think about what's that one specific bottleneck or challenge in your current recruiting or onboarding process that could be most impacted by bringing in one of these cloud-based solutions.
That's a great question to ask.
It really is. And exploring that one area could be the first step to a much more efficient and effective way of building your team.
I think so.
Awesome. Well, thanks for joining us for another deep dive.
My pleasure.
With HR Tech Nexus.
Always fun.
We'll see you next time.
See you later.
Thanks for joining us on the HR Tech Nexus podcast. Ready to take action? Head to hrtechnexus.com to access today's episode resources, including actionable guides, real-world case studies, and free tools to streamline your hiring and onboarding. Don't miss our weekly newsletter for bite-sized HR tech hacks, software comparisons, and compliance tips tailored to SMEs. No enterprise-level budgets required. And if you're ready to transform your HR workflows with custom-built solutions, book a free discovery call with our experts. We design strategies that fit your company's size, industry, and global needs. Until next time, innovate boldly, outsmart the status quo, and let's build HR teams that don't just compete, they dominate.